Hey Run Junkies, do you ever get side stitches? You know, that tightness in your side just under your ribs while you run? It's unpleasant, it's annoying, and sometimes it's downright painful. It might even cause an athlete to just quit running altogether. So today let's talk about side stitches, how to get rid of them during your run, and maybe even how to prevent them. This is a viewer question, so thanks to Shara for suggesting this topic. I really appreciate that. I used to get side stitches all the time when I was new to running, and it's just one of those annoying rites of passage I think that runners have to go through. We have to figure out how to get around it so we can continue running comfortably. So what exactly is a side stitch? Well, as I mentioned before, it's that uncomfortable tightness just under your rib cage, and it begins at some point during your run. If we don't deal with it, it might continue to get worse. In a Runner's World article I've linked to in the description below, Dr. Jordan Metzl says that this is basically a muscle spasm of the diaphragm. That's that thin muscle that sits just below your lungs. It helps you inhale and exhale. Now, we don't think about this muscle on a regular basis, but when we are working it harder than normal, and by that I mean when we're breathing heavily during our workouts, during our runs, during any other training session, it might revolt in the form of a muscle cramp. So what causes that diaphragm muscle to spasm? What causes that side stitch? Well, the first thing could be that eating the wrong things or too soon before a run might be a factor in that. I personally have to avoid dairy, heavy fats, and proteins between 60 to 90 minutes before a run. I usually go with a banana or half a bagel shortly before I run to avoid those side stitches. Now, another factor, as I said, the diaphragm muscle helps us breathe, so it could be that we're just not breathing properly. And when we start getting a side stitch during our run, our first feeling might be to hunch over and to alleviate that pain. But if we're thinking of it as a muscle cramp, what's the first thing we do if we get a hamstring or a calf cramp? We stop and we stretch that muscle out. The same is true with a side stitch. We want to stretch that muscle out. So the first thing you do when you start to feel that side stitch come on is to slow down. We don't want to keep breathing heavily as we continue our run. Just slow down your pace a little bit. That's going to allow your breathing to slow down. Then we want to think about standing tall and breathing deeper through our bellies as opposed to from our lungs. When we're standing taller and breathing deeper, we're allowing that diaphragm muscle to get a little bit of extra room to stretch it out. So once again, a slower pace means you can take deeper breaths, which allows you to stretch out that diaphragm muscle and relieve the stitch. Now, my recommendation after that, if you track your runs, is to make a note of that. Hey, I got a side stitch during this run, and then think back. What did you eat beforehand? How soon? What did you do ahead of time? Then the next time you can change that up a little bit and experiment and see if it comes back. That will get you on the right path to preventing those stitches going forward. As far as prevention goes, there are a lot of ways to keep those stitches at bay in the short term and condition your body to keep them from coming back long term. In the short term, like I said, pay attention to what you're doing, eating and drinking before your run and how you feel during your run. Make a note of that and make changes and adjustments as necessary. Also, warm up with a walk or a slow jog. This is just good practice anyway, but especially if you have a hard workout ahead of you. In the long term though, we can keep these side stitches from coming back if we do some basic strength training. Remember, the diaphragm is a muscle. If we strengthen that muscle and the muscles surrounding it in our core by doing push-ups, planks, crunches, any kind of core work is going to strengthen that diaphragm muscle. You can also try workouts like deep breathing exercises. Yoga and Pilates are really good examples of that. Basic core strengthening exercises, push-ups, planks, crunches, Supermans, all of that is working all of these muscles in your core. Basically, treating this breathing muscle like any other muscle will help us work more efficiently. The group over at The Run Experience has a great video on this, so click on this card right here and check them out. Once again, thank you to Shara for suggesting this video topic. If you have an idea for an upcoming video that I can bring you, please leave those in the comment section down below. I've already gotten a ton of new new content ideas from you guys, so thank you so much. If you would rather, you can also leave me a personal message here on YouTube or head over to my Grace and Pretzels Facebook page. The link is in the description below. But that is it for me today, you guys. If you like this video, please give me that thumbs up and share on social media. If you are not already subscribed, please click on that subscribe button as well. Thank you so much for watching. Go find your awesome. Until next time, happy running.